Daf Peites, the Ilui Nishmas Sima Bas Elka. Today we're going to discuss, to some extent, the Takanas Usha. According to what was stated on the previous daf, the Takanas Usha was only an enactment according to Reish Lakish and not according to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, we explained, held that kinyan perus are kinyan aguf. As we explained yesterday, Rabbi Abba was entitled to block the sale of his wife's nichsei mulug, or her gift to her son. In spite of this, Ravidi brought a proof that a takanas usha, in fact, was enacted. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's very possible that there was no takana, but still, Ravidi brings a raya from a brisa that in fact there was. The brisa states, although in general, the law of kasher zamam requires full compensation for their false testimony. In a case they claimed falsely, for example, a couple was divorced and her ksuba was paid, they pay only what we call the toivas hana of the ksuba. This amount is what one would pay to buy a ksuba from the wife while she's married. The amount of payment is minimal since she may predecease her husband. The Bryce expresses this by saying, V'im mesa yirashena ba'ala. Now, there are different elements of a ksuba. One is the ikar ksuba, that's the amount that he is required to pay. There's a tosefes ksuba, which is the amount he voluntarily adds. There's the nichsei malug, this is property she either brought with her at the time of the marriage, or inherited or gifted to her during her marriage, not recorded in the ksuba. The husband is not entitled to the principal of these properties, only the profit. Then there's the nichsei tzom barzel. This is her property whose value is fixed at the time of the marriage, added to the ksuba. No matter what their value at the time of death or divorce is, he must pay her their value as appraised at the time of their marriage. When it says the husband will inherit her, it can only refer to the nichsei tzom barzel, because the other ksuba obligations are payments he simply doesn't make. If there was no takanas usha, then why would he inherit her? She could sell those properties, and therefore the edim zomimim should pay the full amount of the ksuba, not just the tovas hana. The assumption, of course, here being if she could sell the nichsei malug, she can also sell the nichsei tzom barzel. However, Abaya rejects this proof. The lack of a takana would allow her to sell the nichsei malug because those properties are essentially hers, since their loss or profit accrues to her. However, the nichsei tzom barzel are essentially his, since any loss or gain is his. Even with the takana, she cannot sell these during her marriage. Therefore, the edim zomim pay her only the discounted value and not the actual. Tovas hana, the wife is entitled to the tovas hana, not her husband. Otherwise, Abaye explains, the edim zomimim could claim, we are not liable since we did not cause you a loss. The money would have gone to your husband anyway. If Shaman says no, he disagrees with Abaye. Even if the husband received it, she will still benefit and could claim a loss because there will be money, more money for household needs. The more money the husband has, the more will go into the kitty of the house. However, Rava decides that it is hers based on another consideration. As long as she sells only the principal that does not interfere with the husband's rights to consume the profits, any additional income that is referred to peira de peira, the fruits of the fruits, does not accrue to the husband. Proof for the takanas usha from our Mishnah. We say in the Mishnah, Eved v'isha pigiyasan ra, achovu b'hen chayev, v'hen shechovu b'acherim peturim. Why is a married woman exempt from paying damages? She could actually sell her nichsei malug and use that money to pay damages. The Mishnah does not prove she cannot sell her nichsei malug, because in fact it may be discussing a case where she doesn't have it. In addition, she cannot sell her ksuba to a buyer, pay for damages, in case her husband dies first or divorces her, or even sell it to her victim, both of them at a discount because she will eventually forego her ksuba payment. To demand her to pay in this way would cause either the buyer a loss or an unnecessary waste of the court's time. If she has nichsei milud property, she can sell it at a discount to pay for her damages. Otherwise, she cannot sell her ksuba at a discount to pay for damages. What happens if a wife injures her husband instead of another person? The previous concerns do not pertain to this case. The husband can collect damages at nobody's expense. One could suggest a woman is not allowed to be married without a ksuba, and therefore he cannot use the ksuba to pay for damages, because otherwise the husband would have an easier time to divorce her. However, if there was a surplus to the ksuba, she could pay from the surplus without forfeiting the base amount. Even the base amount will prevent him from divorcing her if the damage is less than the value of the ksuba. If it is equal or greater to the ksuba, he will divorce her anyway to collect damages, and the ksuba will not deter him. If she is forced to sell to pay damages and predeceases her husband, her sons are still entitled to their ksubas b'nei dichrin, the larger percentage of the father's estate, because their mother's ksuba was larger. The heirs from subsequent marriages cannot say, by selling her ksuba, she forfeited the rights of her children since she sold due to financial pressure.